America is a free country because so many great men and women have served and sacrificed their lives for our freedom. Today on Coach's Corner, we merge two worlds, one that of high school sports, and the other our veterans of the war, as we pay homage along with Mission Viejo High School in honoring our veterans. A special evening in Mission Viejo with some outstanding guests with incredible stories to tell. This is Coach's Corner. I'm Paul Higgins, and all the action starts right now. Hello everybody, I'm Paul Higgins and welcome to this edition of Coach's Corner. And as you can tell, we do have a fabulous show. What a great night here at Mission Viejo High School. And this event, as we told you in the open, this is going to be an event that's going to happen again and again, and hopefully will be at Mission Viejo High School for a long time to come. And who knows, they might spawn other schools to also honor our military. Our first two guests tonight, very special indeed. They both represent Mission Viejo High School in two fashions. One, he's been on the Coach's Corner before, head coach Troy Rowland, and also the athletic director of Mission Viejo High School. So we welcome Troy once again. And also, and I have to say this correct, because I had a test prior to the show on how we're going to introduce this young man, but I'm going to introduce him. Colonel Ed Coffer, retired U.S. military in the Marines for 28 years, a pilot flying F-18s, over 4,000 hours of flight time, and we welcome Ed to our show tonight as well. So gentlemen, welcome to Coach's Corner. And what a special night. I contacted you this week, Coach, and I said, can you join me on Coach's Corner? And you met me and you said, Paul, I'm going to take my basketball hat off tonight and talk about this event. How special is it for you and the school and the military and just the aura and the buzz going on right now before the game starts?
It's fantastic. You know, we're the only high school that shares its name with the city, and Kelly Doyle with the city of Mission Viejo, and Bob and our boosters, and Jeff Hill have been really instrumental in putting it together and getting this relationship going. And we've had so many requests that this is going to become an annual thing. I couldn't be more proud of our ASB and Jimmy Newton. Everybody had a really big hand. We just fed 300 veterans tonight. It was a great dinner. Ed got a good meal out of it, and everybody, I just can't say enough about the city that we represent. It's been really special so far.
It is so fun, and Ed, it's a special night for you. You're doing this in two ways. Your son actually plays football here at Mission Viejo High School, and tonight at the end of the evening, you're going to be switching jerseys and getting your name, his jersey, number 43. How special is that?
Oh, I couldn't be more proud. I had two sons, both went to Mission Viejo High School. The older one graduated a couple of years ago. He's off to college down at University of San Diego. And Garrett, my second son, senior this year, playing linebacker for Mission Viejo, number 43. And what a great opportunity for everybody to come out. And I'm just really, really proud of him and the entire team.
Now, you were just having dinner with a lot of veterans, and we have veterans from just about every war. You know, back to Pearl Harbor. We've got some great veterans here tonight. Did you get a chance to talk to any of them?
I did. As a matter of fact, I'm a pilot for American Airlines also, and I was on a Maui trip and flying home from Maui, and I ran into a gentleman that was waiting to board our airplane to come home to Los Angeles wearing a 1st Marine Division hat. Older gentleman, and so I walked up and gave him the traditional Semper Fi, which means always faithful. Marines do that, you know, when they see each other. He opened his eyes and looked at me, and we started to talk, and come to find out, the gentleman who's here, Ed Reef, served with John Basilone on Guadalcanal and is one of 3 men in his unit that survived. And he is here tonight. Really a tremendous group of individuals in there, including Pearl Harbor survivors and another Army gentleman that was on the Bataan Death March and ended up as a prisoner of war for 42 months. Just an unbelievable group of people up there. Really amazing.
There's a special bond that athletes have in the locker room, on the playing field, Hell Week, or in basketball before you guys get really into the season, that a bond develops. Is that bond different in the military, or do you find similarities in that?
It's almost exactly the same. The willingness to do anything for the guy to your left and your right, no matter what it is. And you don't find teammates, team play like that in just about any other endeavor in life other than the military and sports.
Coach, you're very proud of Mission Viejo High School. You represent the school as the athletic director, so your face is out there. You're out there as the head coach of the basketball team. Tonight you said, take a back seat to this. What will you be doing during the game, and do emotions come out within you as well, or is that far-reaching?
No, this was awesome. When Bob started talking about it about 2 years ago, we played at Don Bosco in New Jersey. It was the 10th anniversary of 9/11. And Bob talked about how moved he was at the Army All-American game and stuff that he'd like to bring back to Mission Viejo. And the kids were back there, and you see Ground Zero, and oftentimes we're distanced in South Orange County and it's far away from us. And I get to talk to some of the kids who are in my AP class and out here. They were excited to meet the veterans.
Yeah.
I think they really appreciate the blanket of security that they provide, and they don't take it for granted that they're out here playing on a Friday night and other people are protecting our freedoms.
Yeah.
So for me, it's great to keep the kids grounded and understand there's things outside of athletics, things greater than themselves. And it makes me proud to be part of this event and the school that our kids handle ourselves that way.
You mentioned the young men that are going to be playing tonight, and two good football teams on the field. You have Mission Viejo undefeated. You have Tesoro doing a great job this year. Not really a rival game, a competitive game. Score matters at the end, obviously, but Mission Viejo is having a pretty good time of football this year.
Yeah, we're doing a good job sharing the ball. We've had a lot of young kids step up. I think, in the past we've fallen just a little bit short of what we wanted to get, and those guys are a little bit hungrier this year.
Yeah.
That win over Don Bosco was fantastic, nationally and stuff, and to win in overtime the way we did was pretty special. So I look forward to a good game tonight, and it will be competitive. And it's nice to have a little bit of a rivalry going on.
And your son, you said, you told me, Paul, he's not a starter. He gets in the game. He's not a starter, but Coach Johnson does a great job of acknowledging each and every athlete, and they feel part of this football team whether they're starting or not. Can you tell us about that?
Well, as a military officer, a Marine colonel, I have seen good leaders and bad leaders, and I can tell you after watching this program for these number of years, about 6 or 7 years now, that Bob Johnson and his entire staff go out of their way to make every player on that team feel like he's part of the team. Very special. And if there's ever an opportunity to get everybody in the game, they'll take it. They'll do that and sacrifice the score. I think you'll see in some of the scores this year where it looked like a team maybe scored a little more than one would think that they would against Mission Viejo. Well, that's because Bob thinks it's important that everybody that's out there working as hard as they do gets an opportunity to get on the field and play.
Before I let you go, is there something that you could say to the young athletes out there that should be aware of what the gentlemen like you did and the men behind you sacrifice so they can play football out here?
Well, that's kind of a tough question for me, actually. Everybody goes through their life and takes the opportunities that come their way. I was fortunate enough to get the opportunity to fly the F-18 Hornet, a tremendous airplane, very fast, very powerful. It was really an enjoyable thing to do. And at the same time, you understood that there's a reason why you're in that airplane.
Yeah.
And you need to have come to grips with that particular situation before you decide that's something that you want to do.
Amazing. 28 years and as a U.S. Marine and always a Marine, right?
That's correct.
Always a Marine. Coach Rowland, we're going to catch up with you during basketball season.
Fantastic.
Because I know we're going to come out and cover some Mission Viejo basketball. I want to thank Coach Rowland also for giving me this hat. Fantastic hat. They've actually put a little military flair in it. So these hats too, I'm sure you can buy these hats at some place too and get them through Mission Viejo High School. And it's also a fundraiser. So make sure you get involved. If you've been to the city of Mission Viejo in the last couple of days and seen what they've done out here, it's absolutely remarkable. On behalf of Troy, on behalf of Ed, we'll be back with more of Coach's Corner with more veterans on a very special night. Hello everybody, welcome back to this edition of Coach's Corner on location here at Mission Viejo High School in the city of Mission Viejo. Two fantastic guests. I could actually talk to both of these gentlemen for hours, and I kid you not. They have some great stories to tell. Joining us now is Saul Schwartz, a young 95 years old. We'll tell you his story. And if you're in Mission Viejo, you probably know Bruce Hunt. If you don't, you will. He does a lot of great things for the city. Bruce Hunt joining us, also a U.S. Marine. So gentlemen, welcome to the show. I really appreciate you joining me. And you just corrected me. I said you were 94. You said, nope, I'm 95. So that is fantastic. 95 years old. I want to make mention that he was married to Betty, who he just talked to for 64 years. She passed away, but you had a little conversation with her at dinner, and God bless you for that. And Karen is his daughter. And Bruce, you have 4 children, and we'll get into that. But you and I were just talking. You were a prisoner of war in World War II for 42 months. The Japanese held you. You were also part of the 50 to 60 mile march. That was amazing. And that was known as the Death March. The Bataan Death March, and you have no ill regard to the Japanese. Matter of fact, our executive producer, Robert, was just saying, after you were captured and then when you were released, you forgave them. Tell me about that.
Well, prison camp is hard to talk about. I can talk about it, but it was hard. But I was so thrilled to be released. And P-51s were flying over us doing victory rolls.
Yeah.
And I was so thrilled to be released, and everything was changed. It was a different life already. And the air base that I flew out of was about 400 miles away. We hitchhiked there. And the Japanese fed us, the civilians were kind to us. The hatred that they showed me in prison camp was two worlds apart.
Yeah.
So I bear no hatred for them.
Amazing story that you went through. And Bruce, you do some really good things for the city. In the Korean War, obviously, and you wear that proudly in your hat, and God bless you for that. You head up the Marine Adoption Committee. You do a lot for the military still, and our boys down south in Camp Pendleton. Tell me about how you feel about this event and what Mission Viejo High School is doing, because Bruce, it's the young men out here that are playing football. They wouldn't be here without you guys.
This is fantastic. The idea is an exceptional idea because a lot of people don't honor vets. I can remember the Vietnam vets coming back and all of the crap they went through. Pardon the French.
That's all right.
And right now, people are accepting veterans as real heroes. You know, these guys, we were in Korea. If anybody's going to have a war, you wouldn't want it in Korea.
Yeah.
It was hot in the summer and cold enough to freeze the balls off brass monkey.
There you go.
But there is so much that people are really excited about and what the veterans are. I have a group of 10, 12 people that go down once a month to the Wounded Warrior Battalion, and we have a barbecue down there for them. And the first time I went down there, I went down with another organization, and the hamburgers were about the size of a pretty good sized hamburger. And the time they shrunk up, they were about yay big. I mean, just a little one, 2 to a bun. And I thought, these guys spilled blood for us. No more of that. So we give them sirloin burgers, foot-long hot dogs, brats. We've had baby back ribs and chicken wings.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a barbecue to end all barbecues when you want to do that. And I just feel that they ought to be, these kids ought to be taken, these Marines and our other servicemen ought to be taken care of better.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what we do.
And this is a great event because I know you are touching the hearts of these guys, these boys that just ran behind you. You're touching their hearts, you're getting into their psyche about what you have done. You told me you're out of Philadelphia, and you told me you came out of the war a much better man. Tell me your thoughts about that. I'm curious.
Well, my values are completely different. But when I grew up poor, my parents were immigrants with 7 children and no money. We grew up poor, so money was important, but after prison camp, all you need is enough. And I managed to make enough, and I appreciate the people I associate with. These guys, what they do for me, I can't explain.
Yeah.
It's like taking me out of the woods and showing me the daylight.
Yeah.
I didn't even know he existed for a while, and then all of a sudden we have a group that meets every Friday morning for breakfast, the OFVBC, Old Fart Veterans Breakfast Club, and that's where I met Saul. And he is one of those people that spreads love.
Yeah.
He just automatically spreads love.
Right.
And his handshakes are firm.
Yeah.
And when he says, I really like you, you know darn well he likes you because that's the way he is.
Yeah.
He couldn't tell a lie if he tried.
Right, right. Your thoughts about, you told me you don't watch a lot of football, but what sports did you like and what sports do you like?
I like football,
Yeah.
I like baseball, but getting older, my problem is taking care of myself.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm 95 years old and I live in a house alone. have a lady comes in cleaning once a week.
Wow.
I cook my own dinners. I make my own bed. And I try to read a lot, but I only have one eye, so the other eye tires. But life is good. I have no complaints. And I'm fortunate I ran into a nice group of people here, and it's made my life for me.
What is the secret? 95 years old, you spend 42 months in a prison camp, you were down to about 100 pounds. What's the secret to living to 95? Is it up here? Is it in your brain?
I think so. I think it's mind over matter.
Yeah.
I concentrate on the good things, and I understand the good things. It's a form of love. I met a fellow at the table tonight. He's an ex-pilot. And coincidentally, his navigator is a friend of mine. And we had a conversation. He had a son-in-law with him. He was showering him with love, doing for him. He's younger than me, but older than me.
Yeah.
And this makes the day for me. I'll go home thrilled. I've had a wonderful day.
Well, I'm so thrilled that you're here, and Bruce, I appreciate you joining us. Is it okay that another time I spend more time with you gentlemen and sit down and do another interview with you?
Love it.
Anytime.
An extended, maybe in the city of Mission Viejo studio, we could do that. I would really, really be honored to do that. Thank you, gentlemen. I appreciate
very much for
everything you've done. God bless you guys.
Thank you.
All right. We'll be back with more of Coach's Corner. Man, this is unbelievable. Thanks for joining us. Hello everybody, welcome back to this edition of Coach's Corner here in Mission Viejo High School. Of course, the Diablo is playing Tesoro. That's the main attraction tonight for the game, but prior to the game and halftime and after the game, special activities with our veterans as we have been talking about tonight. Joining us now, two more veterans. Really pleased to have these young men on the show. We've got Howard Bender, a survivor of Pearl Harbor, only one of two that are living in Orange County to this day, and that's pretty amazing. He was married to his wife Geneva. He's married to his wife Geneva, 69 years. He served in the military in the U.S. Navy from 1941 to 1949 and a Mission Viejo resident. Really pleased to have him in Mission Viejo. Cliff McClinley, of course, World War II, Navy, and volunteer for the city. Cliff has spent thousands and thousands of hours, over 25 years, volunteering for the city of Mission Viejo. We thank him for that. Most importantly, we thank him and both of these gentlemen for their service in the U.S. military as we honor them tonight. So Pearl Harbor, you talk about it just now. You said this is what we do at Pearl Harbor. We do these talks. Do you ever do them around these guys?
Only this evening.
Yeah, only this evening. Now, you're going to be doing the coin toss tonight. Your thoughts about being involved in high school football and having them know who you are and what you're all about. Tell me about that.
Well, it all boils down to the simple fact that the soul of the American people is freedom and liberty, and that is our mission, even in the Freedom Committee of Orange County, which is a composite of 120 combat veterans from all the wars. We go to the high schools, we have contracts with them, and we talk to them and tell them our story, what it's really like.
And your story is pretty incredible, and
well, it's
you're very modest about it.
It's many stories. I mean, just prior to I come here, you had one of the survivors that are remaining from the Bataan Death March, a prisoner of war for 3.5 years in slave labor in a Japanese coal mine. And when I see people with stories like that, even from Germany, I mean, I'm insignificant, really. I have stories, but I don't think it's as powerful as what they can relate to.
You're 91 years old, sharp as a
Couple
tack.
months I'll be 92.
92. God bless you. That's awesome. I know. Good friend here, right? You guys have become friends. And Cliff.
All brothers under the same arm.
Absolutely. Why did you choose the Navy, or did the Navy choose you?
I chose the Navy because I didn't want to be stuck in a foxhole. And I like a cup of coffee, and we can get coffee on the ship.
Get coffee on the ship.
And I was on the ship for 2 years, 27 months actually.
Yeah.
And we went to 3 actions. I had Okinawa and the Philippines and Leyte. And we went into Okinawa a week before they landed.
Yeah.
We had fogmen on our ship. We were looking for floating mines.
What year did you leave the Philippines?
We left. We were there at Christmas time, at Thanksgiving time,
Uh-huh.
and then we went down to Okinawa. We went to Admiralty Island first, then went to Okinawa, and we were at Okinawa a week before, and they went into Okinawa on April Fool's Day, and it was also Easter Sunday, April the 1st.
Have you ever been back since the war?
No.
Do you have any desire?
No.
No.
I've been to Hawaii lots of times.
Yeah, yeah. Now, obviously, you've been to Hawaii. You've been back to Pearl Harbor. When you go back, I can't imagine those feelings. I can't imagine. I see the black and white pictures and when that happened. What's it like for you?
Well, it's a very interesting experience because I'm a docent at the park, and my story is in the first monitor in the museum as you go into the museum. And I talk to people from all over the world, and when I get up there on the Arizona Memorial, I tell them, this is the ultimate price you pay for freedom. And where the Missouri sits now, there are 429 gravestones sitting as a memorial to the USS Oklahoma for those men who gave their lives so I can sit here and tell you what we did.
Right.
And what we did is to make sure, and this is something that money can never buy, even though I was only paid $21 a month at the time, I said money cannot buy what pleasure that my wife and I have when we go to the mall and we see little kids, 4, 5, 6 months old and maybe a year, born free, and they have freedom.
Right.
And these kids today, with the education we have, are caused by their educators to think. And that is the one thing that we are really grateful for, that we can work with schools and get these kids out here and say, hey, regardless of what anybody says, we love our liberty, we love our freedom, and we will defend that to the death.
Yes. Cliff, do you think your generation, I know I do, is tougher and more durable than the modern generation of the 90s and the new century?
Not necessarily. I really don't. Because all these kids now, I mean, I got a grandson, he lifts weights every day. Cliff never lifted weights his entire life. And they just do it naturally. So that's what I think these younger kids, they're really into keeping themselves physically strong.
What advice do you give young men that maybe will never experience what you two have and the other gentleman I interviewed tonight about the military and how to respect the country and how to respect authority, because in the ultimate choice is freedom, and we have that. But some people take it for granted. How do you set them straight?
Just do what they tell you and don't argue, and follow instructions to the inch.
Will you sit back and watch this game tonight and wish you were playing, or are you happy where you're at?
I'm happy where I'm at.
You're happy where you're at.
I played at Fullerton High School in 1944.
You were born in Fullerton, right?
I was born in Fullerton.
Your dad born in Los Angeles.
Born in Los Angeles.
And what sport was your favorite sport?
Football.
Football.
Football, yeah.
What team?
I was Torrance High School.
All right.
I grew up with Pete Zamperini was my coach at Torrance High in 1940.
Torrance High School.
And Bob Barr was our football coach. He was from UCLA. Pete was from USC.
Well, Coach Bob Johnson has connections to Torrance High School.
Oh, yeah, I just met him tonight.
Yeah.
And I went to school with his dad.
There you go.
Yeah.
What about pro football? Do you have a pro football team you like?
Not really, no.
Okay. Torrance High School.
There's more action in the young kids.
I want to thank you guys. A great pleasure, a great honor.
Thank you.
I mean that from the bottom of my heart. God bless both of you, and thank you for everything you've done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you for remembering.
Oh, I do. It's been a great edition of Coach's Corner. This is what I do, and this is why I do it, because I'm able to, and I appreciate that.
Remember Pearl Harbor? Keep America alert.
That's right. Keep America alert. So until next time, thank you so much for watching. Thank you to the City of Mission Viejo for aiding and putting all this together, of course, with Mission Viejo High School. It's been a great show. Thanks for watching, everybody. Good night.